Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to build our visualization intuitions by playing with this tool and be me showing you stuff. So here is a shape before and after. Now, there's lots of things that they can do on the 11 plus to this shape to make a new shape, and then there's several questions that work on being able to spot what they've done. So let's think of the first one we're going to look at is just filling it in. So we can just fill that in. We can fill it in with black or stripes or don't like that, dots. Let's go with dots. Okay, so that's one thing. They can take the same shape and fill it in. That's quite straightforward. But the next thing we want to talk about is rotation. So we can rotate it by 90 degrees. Now, think about this as a clock hand. It's facing towards 12 o'clock. 90 degrees will take it to 3 o'clock, 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so I've taken this original shape and I've put in some dots and rotated 90 degrees. If I rotated another 90 degrees, oh no, I did counterclockwise. That's undid what I did. But let's go back to so clockwise, and then if I do 290 degrees, that's rotating it by 180 degrees. You can imagine, you can play with this if you want. If you have a piece of paper, and if you drew this on the paper, and if you turned it a quarter of the way around, it would become the shape we had before, and if you did it halfway around, it would be this shape. So this is a 180-degree rotation of this shape. Okay, and that's really about all there is to say about rotations. One of the ones that's hardest to spot is this one. So let me make this a new shape. Now I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. So that 90 degrees doesn't look like 90 degrees because it's kind of odd what happened. But it's good it had this bit here. That makes it easier to see what happens. This one comes up here. It looks like, doesn't really look like it's gone 90 degrees, but it has. This one up here is now here. So the one that was facing up at 12 o'clock is now facing 3 o'clock. That is a 90 degrees turn of this shape. So you need to recognize that. That's probably the hardest one to recognize that actually changes. Some of them don't change if you do 90 degrees, and they won't ask you that. So, for example, a square won't change if you do 90 degrees. So play with this, do several rotations. We'll do other things with it. This is all, with this tool, we can make more complicated shapes, say with made it out of 3 shapes. Here's well, let's do another one because that's okay. So here you can make quite complicated shapes. Now look at this. I think I didn't want to get this far. Okay, so stop for now.